Hey, what's up, Spencer? My name is everybody, and welcome to another reading vlog. And today's theme of the reading vlog is gonna be moving, because that's what I'm in the process of doing. The lease for my current apartment is going to be up pretty soon, and I have just signed a lease for a new apartment. So what I'm gonna be doing is I have already packed up a really good amount of my stuff, and I'm gonna be moving all of the boxes and things that I've packed up right now into the new place. And then in a day or two, I am going to hire some movers and a truck and have them help me move all the big stuff, all of my furniture, mainly my 500 bookcases that I have. What am I going to be reading for this vlog? Well, what I am currently reading is Run, Rose, Run by Dolly Parton. I know I'm saying her name wrong, I don't know why. And James Patterson. I'm not a super big fan of James Patterson. He definitely writes way too many books. He's really churning them out. He is a content factory in the book community. But I do love Dolly Parton, and I love what she has done for the book community. You know, she has donated so many books to kids in need. I love so much of the charity work that she does. I love all of her movies, especially like holiday Christmas movies. I don't know, she's just a beautiful person. And so I decided to pick up this book that she wrote with James Patterson, and ooh. So this book is about our main character. I don't really remember what her name is, and she is an aspiring country singer, but she doesn't have any money, and she doesn't even own a guitar, and she is trying to make a name for herself, and she ends up getting picked up by this world's Dolly Parton. Like, this book is very self-inserty because one of the main characters is definitely just Dolly Parton, because she is a country singer who is now retired, but she's so beloved by that everybody is constantly trying to push her to do like one last performance and stuff like that. And so she's like mentoring the main character to become the new country singer, but she also kind of doesn't want the main character to do it because she knows how predatory the music industry can be and how they'll really push you to like change your image and just like fit into commercialization as opposed to actually letting you explore and do the things that you want to do. This book is interesting because I feel like there are a lot of like good things that are being commented on, like what I just said with the music industry, but also at the same time it's kind of confusing because some of the things that are being said about like the beauty standards and stuff like that, it doesn't seem like the beauty standards are being critiqued. It kind of feels more like we're kind of just going with it because like that's just the way things work and stuff like that. So like, I don't know. This book is okay. That's the main thing that I can say about this book, is that it is okay. It's supposed to be a thriller, but nothing really thrilling has happened so far. A good 95% of this book is just about the main character trying to become a country singer and having everything handed to her. They try and make it seem like she has conflict by originally at the beginning of the book, she's homeless and doesn't have any money. She doesn't even own a guitar. And yet anytime she tries anything, she doesn't have like any barriers. Like, it's immediately handed to her so quickly that even like other characters in the book are like, wow, you're becoming famous like really fast. I've never seen somebody become like so famous before. And like, to points where it feels weird. At one point, she meets with like a producer who says that he will only like produce with her if she like does something for him, if you know what I mean. And she says no, but her music is so amazing that this producer decides to still work with the main character even though she didn't sleep with him. Like, it's so weird how everybody just gives this character what she wants. So like, it's okay. It's very self-inserting and there isn't really much thrill happening. So I'm about halfway through it and we'll see how the rest of it goes. Right now, I gotta get some Dunkin'. It's like 10 o'clock and I still haven't eaten breakfast. I am hungry. Bringing all of these boxes over and doing that for a majority of the day. All right, it's about 1:30 and it is time for a check-in because I have officially finished Run, Rose, Run by Dolly Parton and James Patterson. Now I have figured out, I don't know why I was having a hard trouble pronouncing her name earlier. It's not a hard name. Dolly Parton. I am giving this book 1 star. This book was bad, very bad in many ways. And if you're somebody who is looking forward to reading this and doesn't really want to get spoilers, I would suggest kind of skipping ahead in the video, because I am going to be talking about the end part and a lot of spoiler stuff. I'll put a spoiler banner here so that you can kind of skip through to past the part what I'm going to be talking about. The whole, like, the small amount of thriller that was going on was that our main character was on the run the entire time. And at the end of the book, we learn that the reason why she is on the run is because she previously was trafficked and is now, like, running away from the people who had previously trafficked her, which then makes the entire story make absolutely zero sense whatsoever. Because if you are running from people who trafficked you, that means that when they find you, they are either going to murder you or they're going to put you back in that situation. Why would you then try and become a famous country singer? That makes no sense. There's no time in which our character is, like, conflicted about this, where she, like, has always dreamed of being a singer but is terrified to put herself out there because it could put her in danger. Zero. She spends so much time in hotel rooms, even though it should be a traumatizing experience for her to be in a hotel room and stuff like that. Like, there's just so much stuff that, like, once you learn about, like, the backstory of this character, you're like, what? Huh? What? So just, not good. Wow. I don't know why this book was really written, especially. It seemed as though the editing was definitely rushed, because there seemed to be parts of the book that were cut out, and then nobody bothered to go through and actually read the story to kind of, like, edit it back together so that it flowed, because, like, characters would be responding to questions that hadn't been asked. Like, it would feel as though the audiobook had, like, skipped forward, like, a whole entire page or something like that, because it would just jump in a way that didn't make any sense. Like, I don't know. It was poor. I wish that I listened to this as an audiobook. I wish there had been an effort to, seeing as this was such, like, a country music heavy type book, I wish there had been an effort to actually try and include music into the audiobook, as opposed to just, like, the weird, like, fake half singing or just reading of song lyrics that most audiobook, like, readers do. Yeah, there really wasn't any redeeming qualities around this story, unfortunately, which really sucks because, you know, in her own way, Dolly Parton is great. James Patterson exists. I haven't figured out what I'm going to be listening to next, but I'll tell you guys in my next update. Hello, good morning. It is a few days later, and we have finally started to get some things moved into the apartment. I wanted to check in with you guys, but because I have been moving everything, I haven't been able to really take a shower yesterday or today, so I look like a hot mess, but I still wanted to check in with you guys, so here you go. You get a cute little shot of Lila and Kenzie while I'm talking. First thing first, we definitely need to do something about the street noise that I got going on by the cars coming on out here. That's one of the tasks that I got to do, because obviously it doesn't work very well for filming videos. I think one of the things that's going to be best is putting foam all around here, because I stood up on here before and looked in, and there's like a 2-inch gap where there is just full airflow. I'm sure a lot of street noise is just coming in through there. I have about 25 boxes of books that I need to go through and put away. I also need to buy new bookcases, because the guy I hired yesterday kind of smashed my bookcases. One of them is just sitting here in pieces on the floor. This one is just in 2 completely different pieces. Yeah, the guy that I hired was, oof. I'll probably sit down and tell you guys like all the details once I have taken a shower and are able to actually talk to you. So let's talk about my reading real quick, because I started Malice by, oh sweetie, I need to get out your sweater and make it so that you're not so cold. I started Malice by Heather Walters, I believe is her name. And I didn't realize going into it that this is kind of like a Cinderella retelling. Lila, gonna throw. Okay, so now Kenzie has her sweater on and Lila threw up, but she's good. I think she's just a little bit anxious about all the moving and everything that's been happening. So like I was saying, I started Malice by, I believe her name is Heather Walters. And this is a Cinderella retelling, which I didn't realize going into. And now that I have realized it, and I'm a little bit, because I feel like retellings of the classic fairy tales, things like Cinderella and all that, have been done so many times. I'm just a little bit bored with it. Now I say this knowing that Cinder is one of my favorite series, and I love Cinder, and gave the entire series 5 stars. So even though I'm kind of not vibing with Malice, I'm still gonna keep reading it, because like there are plenty of things about it that I do appreciate in the world and do like, but for some reason I'm just not vibing with it. There seems to be quite a few things that are kind of just being handed to the character already, mainly right in the beginning. She hasn't known anything about her birth parents in like a really long time, or like her whole life. She's 20 years old, gone 20 years, has no idea where her birth parents are. Happens to just go and check out this abandoned castle or something that's like right on the outskirts of town, finds a man who's just been there and happens to know everything about her parents and her backstory and stuff like that, which just feels a little bit too convenient for me. I don't know. This man has been there the whole time. You lived in this town for 20 years and nobody has gone into this abandoned castle and found this man who apparently knows your entire backstory. Like, I don't know. So I'm going to keep pushing through it today. The main thing that I need to do is I need to start unpacking some of these boxes, putting them over there, so then I have more boxes to fill up with all of my kitchen stuff. My kitchen at my old apartment hasn't been packed up at all, and that's because I've already purchased about 50 boxes and would now like to not have to purchase more. So I'm going to empty these ones, go and fill up my kitchen and try and move the rest of the things back here. Take a shower, tell you guys about the horror that was my shit getting destroyed. God, I hate moving in the winter. This has been nothing but shit. All right, now that I've organized all of my books and gotten everything kind of a little bit sorted out, let me tell you about the nightmare that has been me trying to move, because I've been doing this for a week now and I still am not finished. So a couple days ago, I hired a moving guy to come to my house. Originally, I had called a moving company, got a quote for like $800. That was way too much for what I was going to be able to do. So I decided to go on TaskRabbit and just hire a guy to come and help me move. So worked out fine in the beginning. He showed up when he was supposed to. We loaded up all of the shit, brought it over here, and started to unload some of it. By that time, it was like 12:30. Neither of us had really eaten. We were hungry, so I ordered some food on DoorDash, and it showed up, and when we were about to start eating, the guy was like, hey man, I'm gonna go and do something real quick and I'll be right back. And I was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. We're technically taking a break right now, so like you go and do whatever you want on your break. So I thought he was gonna come back within like an hour or two or something. No, he doesn't come back for 7 hours. He leaves at lunchtime at 12:30 and then doesn't come back until 7:30. So he just left me here. I had to take a lift like back to my apartment so that I could get my car and all the rest of the stuff and try and keep moving my shit, because that's what we were supposed to do for the day. When I originally hired him, like I told him about the task, he asked me how long it was gonna take. I was like, man, this is a long job. I selected that this is gonna be a 5+ hour job on TaskRabbit. I told him, like, man, I'm not sure how long it's gonna take, but it's gonna take a while because I have 10 bookcases, a bed, a desk, a whole entire dining set. Like, I have a lot of furniture here. So for some reason, he still decided to schedule other things to do that day and went and did it and then didn't come back until like 7:30 at night. And he had taken half of my stuff in the van because we hadn't finished unloading it yet. So when he comes back, he's like, oh man, you're not gonna like this. Like when I was driving the van, like everything shifted around. And I was like, it's okay if stuff like fell over, like that's fine, like I understand, as long as shit isn't broken. And he was like, nah, stuff's broken. And he opens up the truck and it's just absolute chaos. I am so fucking lucky that I hadn't put my antique, irreplaceable dollhouse back there, because most of my bookcases were just smashed, destroyed. There's nothing you can really do with them. And I was just like, man, what the fuck? I can't believe this. So it was late at night. I was like, man, fucking whatever. Just bring all the shit up to my apartment and I'll figure it out later. And he's trying to be like, man, I told you I was gonna help you move all your shit today, so like, let's go and like get the rest of your stuff and finish moving. And I was like, no man, it's fucking 9:30 at night right now. I hired you to come during the day and do this shit during the day. We should have been more than done at this point. And you're trying to tell me, oh, let's go get the rest of your shit. No, fuck off, man. I don't want to do this anymore. We should have been I hired you for the day to come and help me finish all this shit, and you decided to leave early and do fucking whatever. It's been a couple of days and my stuff is still, like my mattress and my desk and stuff like that. I've been sleeping on the couch for days because I've been trying to get my mattress and the rest of my shit back. I had tried to schedule to do it yesterday, but people weren't available, so I scheduled for today, only to wake up to find that it had snowed, and my old apartment complex has a horrible habit of not shoveling or salting anything. So I just knew that if we tried to move stuff today, one of us was gonna fall and severely hurt themselves. So I was like, great, I guess we're not doing jack shit today. So still desperately trying to get the last of my stuff out of my old apartment and here. My bedroom is completely empty because there's nothing in there. So, oh my God, I am just so tired. I am so done. I just want all of my stuff to be in one place so I can officially unpack and get settled and like move on with the next stages of my life. Now that rant about how horrible moving is over, let's talk about some of the things that we've been reading. I am about halfway through Malice, and it's okay. That's really all that I have to say about it, is it's okay. I don't really have any thoughts or opinions about our main character, Alice, or the Princess Aurora, who is supposed to be like the, I don't know, the love interest or something like that. I don't know, everything is just really chill. There isn't much happening. It's fine. Last night I also read the 4th volume of I Think Our Son Is Gay, and just, oh my God, I just wanted to cry over this because I love this series so much. It is so cute. It is so good. There are so many like different things that are being said that just like I love. I love the mom like constantly like reevaluating all of these little like thoughts and opinions that she had about queer people before that now she's starting to like challenge and like recognize like why different things in our society or in Japanese society, like why we should change them and why we shouldn't really be treating queer people as like weird or jokes and stuff like that. And just everything about this is so adorable. The older brother, gay. Younger brother, apparently ace. Continuously, frequently talks about not being interested in like sex at all and stuff like that. And we frequently see like his point of view about like just trying to have like regular platonic relationships and being really struggling a lot and being very lonely because he wants to just go to the movies platonically with his lady friends and they will frequently like misinterpret it or like people will like make fun of him for doing that or call him a girl or call him gay and stuff like that. So like that, it was very interesting. There was this super cute scene where it like flashes back to when Haruki was like 6 or 7 years old and the neighbor girl gets a haircut like really short and some of the boys in the neighborhood like make fun of her and be like, haha, you look like a boy. And the parents are trying to be like, no, you still look like a girl, you still look really cute, like it's fine. But then the main character is like, no, you do look like a boy and you look cool like a boy. And that was the thing that like this girl needed to like be fine with the short haircut, is to validate the fact that she did look like a boy, but it was also cool and fine for that to be a thing. Like, I don't know, just so much about this story. I just love it so much. You should read it. It is so fucking cute. Ah! And then I also started Punching the Air by Ibizo Boy and Yusef Salam. I am about halfway through it, even though I just started it this morning. This is really good. This is about our main character, Sadid, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He has been sent to jail because he kind of got goaded into this fight from a bunch of white kids in his neighborhood when he was hanging out with his friends, and he kind of ended up beating one of the kids so badly that he is in a coma and has not woken up, and we don't know if he's going to wake up. And so it's about how now he's in juvie/prison and all of the things that are going through this, him trying to deal with the fact that he's in jail, and he previously was like gonna go and do a bunch of art stuff, but now he has to just be in prison. Like, I don't know. There isn't really like much more to say beyond that. This book is written in the poetic style. I forget the literary term for when you write a story narratively, but in poetic form. It's very good. It flows very well. I have read quite a few books in this form, a lot of Ellen Hopkins really, but other things as well. And I think that this has done the poetry to tell a narrative story the best out of any of that type of writing that I have read so far. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm really excited to get through, continue reading it. Because I've had such a stressful time, I'm kind of just gonna have a chill day where I am reading and writing and trying to just take it easy before scheduling to try and finish moving everything else. So it is quite a few hours later and I have now finished Punching the Air, and I gave this book 5 stars. I really liked it. It was really great. You can definitely like spend time like debating about whether Amal Sahid deserved to go to juvie or deserved to go to jail and all of the things that happened to him and stuff. But when it really comes down to it, nobody deserves to go to prison. Everything about the prison industrial complex needs to be destroyed because it relies so heavily just on slavery instead of actual rehabilitation and trying to make it so that people can succeed in the world. There's no actual effort going in to try and make sure that there are any changes so that the thing that happened in this book does not happen again. So yeah, this was a good read. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the art and I really liked the poetry. I remembered the literary terms that I was talking about before. It's prose and poetry. When you're writing things as like a normal book, then that's prose, and this is written in poetry. I have also started Hell Followed With Us by Andrew Joseph White, and am a little bit over 70 pages into this. I am really liking this book. This is just amazing. This book is about a boy named Benji. He is a trans man who has escaped the cult that he has grown up in and is living in this post-apocalyptic world. There was a disease called the Flood that went out and killed a lot of people, and the only people who are really left are the Angels, who is the cult group that he escaped from, and all of the non-believers, which right now is kind of like a group of other queer individuals who have found and taken in Benji. And the big thing about Benji is that even though he has escaped from the cult, there is a huge thing going on because, as we can see, do you see this? How he is? Benji is the Seraph, which I'm not 100% sure what that is. If you are, this is very, very entrenched in like Christianity and Christian religious trauma. If you're somebody who has like a lot of that in your background, this might not be the best book for you. It could be a very cathartic read, but this is very, very, very heavy Christian trauma based. So he is the Seraph, which means that in a couple of weeks, like, he's having something change inside of him and he's going to turn into like this six-winged monster that's supposed to like be destroying all non-believers, but obviously he doesn't want to do that. He wants to be able to just kind of live his own life and stuff, and just, I don't know, I don't know what's going to happen in this book, but I am loving it so much. It is so great. There are obviously a lot of diverse characters in it, and it is just incredible. I am already so into it that I put another book written by this author on my TBR because I was like, wow, if this is the kind of stuff that we're going to be writing about, then I definitely want to read some more. So yeah, that's what I've been reading, and I'll kind of check in with you guys in a little bit later. You guys are probably, I don't know how it sounds in here right now, but I feel like you guys are gonna get a little bit used to this whole white background thing. But we are still gonna do this. This is my new goal for the year. No excuses. If there is an issue that is popping up, I am not gonna take it as an excuse to not do the thing. I am gonna figure out a solution, and I'm gonna do the thing anyway. Yes. All right, I'll see you guys in a little while. Oh my god, you guys, it is days later, and I have finally been able to get all of my stuff moved into my apartment. This took way longer than it really needed to. Let me show you basically the setup we got going on over here. Kitchen, bam. Chairs and table. I got my TV, all of my games, and here my DVDs. I am trying to get an actual physical DVD collection because, as we know, companies love to just take away anything that we buy digitally, and so I'm not doing that anymore. I'm doing my best to build up my DVD collection. Here for the books are all of the books that I still need to read, as well as these over here. This is also my TBR cart. Here we got our puppies, and behind us, oh yes, look how gorgeous. I finally have it all together. The standalone books and the single in a series book collection that I have. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but the one good thing about some of my shelves being destroyed was that I was able to add an extra shelf down here, which means I could fit in more books than I could before. Still have a little bit of room here for when I finish books and move them over. Now, when it comes to my bedroom, literally just like an hour ago, got the rest of the stuff in. So I need to put everything together. I need to move these bookcases, put together a third bookcase, move all this stuff around. My desk is currently in two pieces, need to make it into one. So yeah, when it comes to reading, we got a couple of things to catch up on because I did finish Malice by Heather Walters. When I first started it, I'm pretty sure that I said that this was a Cinderella retelling, but now that I've read further into it, I realized that it is more of a Sleeping Beauty retelling than a Cinderella retelling. And our main character, Malice, ends up becoming the queen, the witch, the person who casts the curse on Aurora. And that's what this first book is it's establishing like the backstory of how she gets cursed and stuff like that. And I'm gonna give this book 3.5 stars. There is a second book in this series. Am I gonna be reading it? No. I currently have about 300 books on my TBR. And if I am not frothing at the mouth, like desperately needing to get to see what is happening next in this world and with these characters and stuff like that, I just am not going to be spending my time on it for right now. I have too many books on my TBR to put a series that I am not like desperately into on there. I am also about halfway through Hell Followed With Us, and wow, this is a great book. 5-star read so far, I can already tell. There is a lot of religious imagery and a lot of Bible quotes and a lot of references, and I'm not somebody who grew up religious. I'm not somebody who's ever gone to church, so I feel like there's probably quite a bit that I'm missing because I do not have the knowledge in the back story and the history and stuff like that that somebody who probably grew up in the church and the religion would probably know. But there is still like a lot going on, and just like, wow, as an outsider looking into all this stuff, like it really just shows you how like absolutely crazy Christianity is. Because like, why are you guys like writing so much about killing people and murdering and how bad people need to die and stuff like that? Like, there's so much of it, and why does there need to be? I thought Jesus was all about like love and acceptance and stuff, and yet it seems like so much of the Bible is about murdering people who don't believe in God. It's really interesting. I also started and am about 2/3 of the way through The Extraordinary Adventures of Alfred Kropp, I believe is the title, and I am really, really liking it. It is kind of a Arthurian, I know I'm saying that wrong, a retelling of King Arthur, where Alfred gets kind of not tricked because he knows what's going on. He gets told that he needs to help his uncle steal this sword because his mom just died. He's in custody of his uncle, and his uncle is threatening to put Alfred back into foster care if he doesn't help his uncle steal this sword. They steal the sword. It turns out to be the sword of Excalibur. And now Alfred is kind of all wrapped up in this whole entire thing where they're trying to get the sword back so that terrible things won't happen. And there are very few knights of the Round Table left and all of that. So yeah, it's really interesting. I really like it. I think that Alfred is a really good, interesting character. He is described as not being autistic. He says, my mom got my IQ check, and it's normal. But I still think that he's neurodivergent. You know, IQ doesn't mean that you're not neurodivergent. I have an incredibly high IQ, and yet I am still autistic. So yeah, I don't know. There are things about him that I just really identify with, and I really like him because he's big character thing is that he's a really big guy. And so everybody keeps on trying to push him into doing things like football and all these stereotypical big guy things. And he doesn't want to do that. He just wants to hang around and listen to music and stuff like that and kind of just do his own thing. And he's very simple and straightforward. And I just really like that about him. I really just like his character and what is going on. It is fun. Great. All right, so what I'm doing now, I gotta put my room together. Now that I have all of my stuff, I can finally put my room together, and it is also snowing. This is gonna be the beginning of a cold snap weekend, so great, awesome. All right, we're gonna try and do some filming here, and I think it'll probably go well. I have clogged up a lot of holes so that the sound from the street has been pretty low and hopefully pretty negligible. Let's open some book mail and then let's wrap up this vlog. We have kind of done all of the moving and it is time to end it. I've kind of like edited it together mainly and it's already like 35 minutes, so it is good to wrap it up. But we gotta see what books I ordered first. So first off, ooh, this should be from Barnes & Noble. I know exactly what this is. Yep, just like I thought. This is volume 7 of Crossplay Love. I pre-ordered this. It just came out on January 9th and I am so excited to dive into it. If you have seen my videos before, you've probably heard me talk about this manga, but if not, this is a series that is about two boys who both cross-dress as girls, and as girls they have kind of fallen in love with each other, they have crushes, but as boys at school they hate each other, they don't realize that they're the same person, and it's a whole like love square between two people. Super cute, super fun. Next up we got thrift books. Ooh, and I got what volume is this? 7 of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. I have already read all of the volumes for this manga, but I do not own them, so I'm trying to build up my collection. Next package. I think that I actually might still have another package with books in it coming. Yes, that I haven't received yet. Yes, I have other ones from Thrift Books that should be coming in a few days. Excited for that. But this one, Haikyuu, Volume 3, a manga about boys who play volleyball. Volume 9 of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, ho ho ho. And Brissinger by Christopher Paolini. I've actually already read this entire series, but I am getting the books from Thrift Books so that I can actually own them. All right, let's kind of wrap up what we have going on. The books that I was reading that I was telling you guys about, I believe I had 2 of them when we last talked. The first of which being Hell Followed With Us. I have finished this book. Oh my goodness, it was 5 stars. It was great. The ending, the twists, everything. I really liked Nick, even though there were some aspects of his character, because he was autistic and he's very visibly autistic and spoke about it many times. There were a couple of aspects about his character that weren't quite the proper representation. Like at one point he was like, oh yeah, I like to make bead lizards while I'm having autistic meltdowns. And I was like, does this author know what an autistic meltdown is? Because you cannot make bead lizards or any sort of creative thing when you're in the middle of an autistic meltdown. The best way that I can think of to describe an autistic meltdown is kind of like a temper tantrum that little kids have, where you are just so emotionally like overworked that the only thing that you can really do is scream and cry and throw things and break things. I generally end up hurting myself when I'm in my autistic meltdowns. Like, it's not something that you can make any sort of creative activity for. If you were to try, you would just ruin it. You would destroy it. It's making those types of things, I'm sure he uses as an autistic coping skill, but is not something you can use during an autistic meltdown. So there were a few little things with the autistic representation in here that I was like, but besides that, I absolutely love this. I highly recommend anybody who might be interested in religious trauma or body horror, there is a lot of body horror in this, and it was pretty great. Definitely pick this up. I was also listening to The Extraordinary Adventures of Alfred Kropp, and I finished this with 4.5 stars. I don't know what it is about like early 2000s action adventure book series where the main character is kind of like a neurodivergent cis boy, but I'm super into them. Things like the Alex Rider series, I don't know why, but I just always really like the main characters of those types of series and books, and this definitely fits into that. It was really fun, and though this could be seen as like a standalone because everything like wraps up at the end, it is a series. There's 2 more books after it, and because I enjoyed Alfred as a character so much and the stuff that he went through, I'm interested to see what other adventures he's gonna get into after this. Alright, so that's kind of it for this reading vlog. If you have gotten to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. I am really trying harder to put more time and effort into my YouTube channel this year, and I seem to be doing it a little bit so far. We are 2 weeks in and I'm doing okay so far, but let's see how it goes. Either way, I appreciate you being here with me, and if you want more videos like this, then make sure to like, comment, subscribe, obligatory YouTube outro, and besides that, I hope that you have a fantastic day. Bye.